Welcome! This afternoon we're going to explore lines and equations. So let's start by having some coordinate axes, and let's start by having some sort of line. There we go, very good. That's going to be an x-axis, that's going to be a y-axis. This line probably goes through some points. I don't know, let's call that 1, 3. Somewhere up here there's something else. I don't know, how about 2, 5? And obviously this line keeps going on forever and keeps going on forever down there as well. So given these 2 points are on this line, and given that the line is straight, we can kind of follow a pattern here and maybe find some more points that must be on the line. So for example, here I kind of go from 1 to 2, so that's across 1. And I go from 3 to 5 in the y coordinates, that's up by 2. So if I go across another one, I'll go from 2 to 3, and then across another one, and up 2, I will get up to 7. So we must have 3, 7. And you can see there's a pattern here, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 7. I could make an infinite number of points going up there following the same pattern. Or going down here. Let's see, 3, 2, 1. That's going to be 0, 7, 5, 3, that's going to be 1. And you can follow the pattern here. This is going to be -1 and -1 and so on. So this is all good fun. What else could we do? We could maybe look in between the points. That could be even more fun. So here, let's say that's between 1 and 2. So why don't we call it 1.5? Between 3 and 5 is going to be 4. So 1.5, 4 is also on this line. Let's go a quarter of the way through here. That looks fun. So this bit here, we can have 1/4, and then a quarter of the way up from 1 towards 3 is going to be 1.5. So I can fill in as many points as I like in between here. It's super magic. Actually, there's infinitely many points between any of these, and every single point on here, if I draw enough of them, makes what we would call a line. This line is nothing more than a series of infinitely many points. So this is all good fun. What else can we do with this line? Well, if we look at this pattern, let's look at this one to start with. I've got an x coordinate which is 1 and a y coordinate which is 3. So what I'm going to do now is try and find a rule that can tell me how to get from the x coordinate to the y coordinate. It obviously has to work here as well and here. In fact, I want ideally to find a rule that's going to work for every single possible point on this straight line. So pause the video for a moment and see if you can have a go. Right, so you could try here something like, I don't know, y equals x plus 2. That seems to work. If I try that here, then I'm going to have 5 for y coordinate equals 2 for x coordinate plus 2, which is wrong. That is wrong. These numbers here do not work with this formula here. That is wrong. Another way you could do this, you could get x, you could times it by 2, so let's make that 2x, and then you could add 1. Let's have a go at that one. So here, x coordinate is 2, so 2 times 2, 2 lots of 2, plus 1 equals 5, which is indeed the y coordinate. Let's try here. Okay, y coordinate minus 1, does that equal x coordinate minus 1? 2 lots of the x, add 1. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2, add 1 is minus 1. So that works, and that works. This one actually works at every single point on this line you could ever imagine. I mean, let's even do this one just for giggles. So here we go. I'm supposed to have y equals 2x add 1. Now if the y coordinate is 1.5, does that equal 2 lots of a quarter add 1? Well, 2 lots of a quarter is a half. Half add 1 does indeed equal 1.5. And this is super cool, right? So this little formula here, this rule written in algebra, tells me every single point on this line, and every single point on this line satisfies this rule here. I mean, for example, let's suppose that I know x is going to be 100 for some funny reason. Well, what's y going to have to be? It's going to be 2 lots of 100, add 1, because y is always 2 x's and then add 1, which is 201. So I can tell you for a fact that the coordinates 100, 201 must lie on this line here, and also that if x is 100, y always has got to be 201. That's the only point that lies on this line here. So basically the line is a series of points, infinitely many points, and all of the points satisfy that rule, and all of the places in the whole universe where this rule is true are on this line. That was really cool. We're going to move on to part 2 of this week,